Today we will dive into a profound and revealing analysis of one of the most emblematic figures of our culture, Beyoncé. Forget the superficial gossip headlines. What we will do here is a reading focused on the artist's architecture of destiny for the year 2026. We are talking about a monumental transition involving the restructuring of an empire, emotional health behind the scenes, and, most importantly, a radical shift in her spiritual archetype. In 2026, Beyoncé's vibrational frequency will change permanently. We are witnessing the closing of a cycle spanning more than 2 decades. You know that energy governed by sweetness and seduction, associated with Oshun, the gleam of gold and intense visual appeal? It is being transmuted. Beyoncé is plunging into the deep, relentless waters of Yemanjá. This is not a costume change. It is an initiation. She is ceasing to be the star to consolidate herself as the matriarch. And the cards reveal how silence and financial strategy will be her greatest shields in this process. Let's lay Beyoncé's cards on the table. 2 of diamonds, the Hermit, Page of Spades, Ace of Spades, 6 of Cups, 3 of diamonds, 10 of Spades, the World, the Empress, Queen of Cups, the Devil, Judgment, 10 of Cups, the Sun, 3 of Wands. The reading opens with the 2 of Pentacles, the card of juggling. In the material world, you may have heard rumors that she was having financial difficulties or not paying employees. But the cards show the opposite. It is not poverty, it is asset restructuring. Beyoncé is moving pieces on a board the public cannot see. There is a strategic separation of her assets from Jay-Z's. She is safeguarding her children's future, withdrawing capital from risky investments and placing it in funds of absolute stability. The Hermit explains her silence. While the media speculates about debts, she uses isolation to plan her total independence. She knows that appearing vulnerable or odd to the press serves as an ideal smokescreen. While the public discusses a controversial outfit, she is signing billion-dollar contracts behind closed doors. The Page of Swords brings a restless mental energy. This is where we understand the criticism about her recent visual image. There is an attempt to prove something to the market. The use of a more aggressive sexuality at unexpected moments is a coordinated shock marketing tactic by the Ace of Swords. Beyoncé is testing the limits of her own brand, asking the world if she still dominates the conversation with just her physical presence. The Ace of Swords also indicates a sharp decision behind the scenes. She is cleaning house in her inner circle. Rumors of professional betrayals will be met with silent firings and relentless lawsuits. She is clearing the ground for her final act. Here we reach the point of greatest healing in this reading. The 6 of Cups speaks of nostalgia and a return to origins, which confirms we will see Destiny's Child reunited again in 2026. But pay attention. Contrary to what many think, it will not be a move purely for money, although the 3 of Pentacles indicates a profitable and technically perfect project. The reunion with Kelly and Michelle is a move for emotional self-protection. Beyoncé feels the weight of the crown and seeks the support of those who knew her before monumental fame. This project will serve to humanize Beyoncé again, shifting focus from the controversies of the marriage to focus on feminine sisterhood. It is the rescue of the inner child. Regarding the conclusion of the Renaissance trilogy, the scenario is intense. The 10 of Swords in the reverse position suggests she is avoiding, by a hair's breadth, a collapse from exhaustion. Act 3 will be grand, but it will come with unprecedented physical fatigue. The World card indicates the closing of an era. Beyoncé feels she has nothing left to prove on stage. 2026 marks the end of worldwide megatours as we know them. Renaissance ends as a global celebration, but with a distinct taste of farewell. She is closing the door of the exhausted performer to open the door of the empire owner. At the heart of the reading, we have the maximum manifestation of Yemanjá's energy through the Empress. This confirms that from now on, the total focus will be motherhood and creation. She will not just be making music, she will be gestating culture. Her authority is now maternal, protective, and profound. The Queen of Cups brings the emotional balance that was missing. In 2026, she achieves mastery over her feelings. She accepts the flaws of the marriage, accepts the criticism, and positions herself as the source of emotional sustenance for her lineage. She becomes a figure of respect who no longer needs acrobatics to be revered. We cannot ignore the dense energy surrounding her relationship. The Devil card shows the contractual and karmic ties that bind her to Jay-Z. There is a financial and image codependency difficult to break. But Judgment sounds the trumpet. 2026 will be a year of reckoning. If there are legal scandals involving her partner, the truth will come to light. Beyoncé will have to make a radical decision: sink with the ship or use the lifeboats she has silently prepared. Judgment suggests she will be absolved by the public if she chooses integrity and the protection of her family. For all of us who follow this journey, the message is one of fulfillment. The Ten of Cups shows that, despite the storms, the safe harbor is family. Beyoncé mirrors for us the need to find happiness in what is real, not in what is merely an image for others to see. The sun shines at the end of this reading, representing clarity after the eclipse. 2026 ends with Beyoncé in a position of transparency. She may no longer be the untouchable, but she will be much more real. The success of Act 3 will be measured by the liberation it provides for her soul. The reading concludes with the Three of Wands. Beyoncé is atop the hill, looking at the horizon. Her ships are arriving, but she is already planning the next voyage to a territory where no one has ever dared to go. What we learned today is that finances are being shielded for total independence. The controversial image is just a marketing mask before the transition to Matriarch. Destiny's Child is her refuge, not just a product. Beyoncé in 2026 proves that even a queen must go through the desert to find her ocean. She will survive the judgment and emerge as Yemanjá, vast, deep, and finally, the owner of her own waters. This spiritual message is an invitation to reflect on the cycles of death and rebirth we all face, using Beyoncé's journey as a mirror for our own evolution. Spiritual message for Beyoncé: the call of the deep waters, from gold to essence. Often, life demands that we set aside the shine that brought us here so that we may discover the light born from within. The journey revealed for 2026 is not just about an artist, but about the archetype of the matriarch that resides in each of us. That part that understands true power lies not in external applause, but in the depth of our internal waters. Spirituality teaches us that silence is not absence, it is preparation. Just as the cards show strategic isolation, understand that there are moments when you need to withdraw from the world's noise to reorganize your own spiritual economy. Protecting your emotional wealth and shielding your energy from external influences is not an act of weakness, but of extreme wisdom. Sometimes, appearing vulnerable in the eyes of others is the necessary smokescreen so you can sign new contracts with your own soul away from external judgment. The central message here is redemption, the return to origins, and the encounter with those who knew us before we were someone to the world is what humanizes us. Rescuing the inner child is the balm for exhaustion. If you feel drained by the demands of your own performance, remember, the safe harbor is not a financial achievement, it is real affection. Honor your lineage and seek support from those who love your essence, not your appearance. We all carry our own contractual ties and dependencies that seem difficult to break. However, the universe always sounds the trumpet of judgment. This is not a judgment of punishment, but of clarity. It is the moment to decide if you will continue sinking with ships that do not belong to you, or if you will use the lifeboats your own intuition has prepared. Integrity is the only safe escape route to true success. The transition from Oshun to Yemanjá tells us that the sweetness of youth has matured and become the ocean of wisdom. The year 2026 concludes the cycle of superhuman effort to give way to the power of presence. When you stop trying to prove your worth, the sun finally shines. Fulfillment comes not from what you do, but from who you have become after surviving the desert. The spiritual advice for you is, trust the flow of your waters. Let what is superficial be carried away by the tide and embrace the immensity of your being. You no longer need acrobatics to be revered. Just be the source of your own light. The horizon is vast and your ships are arriving. I am immensely grateful for your presence here. This connection is sacred. For this journey of discovery to continue, dive into the channel videos that now appear on the screen. They are keys to new understandings. Ensure your participation in this community. Subscribe, share this energy, and leave your comment with ideas for themes you would like to see in future readings. Together, let's unravel the archetypes that shape our destiny. Your voice is essential to guide our next step. See you soon